The Galactic Council's chamber floated in the center of Orbitus Prime, a massive station that spun slowly around a distant star. Its walls were polished to a shine, reflecting the strange and varied light from hundreds of alien worlds. Council members from dozens of species hovered in their seats, some floating in zero gravity, others perched on mechanical platforms that moved them around the room. The air buzzed with discussion, arguments, and laughter as they debated territorial claims, trade disputes, and the latest scientific discoveries. Among the chatter, one planet was always spoken of with dismissive amusement: Earth. Council members had observed the planet for centuries, noting its small size, primitive technology, and seemingly fragile inhabitants. No species in the galaxy had ever considered humans a threat. They were, at best, a curiosity, a minor species barely able to defend themselves, yet stubborn enough to survive in their own corner of the Milky Way. As the debates reached a peak, an unusual alert appeared on the Council's communication interface. A message had come from Earth. The room fell silent and all heads turned toward the glowing display. The message was simple, almost plain: "We are ready." A ripple of laughter spread through the chamber. One tall, crystalline being with 6 eyes leaned forward, clicking its limbs nervously. "They must be joking," it said. "Ready for what? Their planet is unarmed compared to even a small council fleet." Another member, a gelatinous entity that constantly shifted its form, bubbled with amusement. "Perhaps they have learned to play with shadows and rocks," it said. "Do they expect us to take them seriously?" Despite the mockery, a few experienced council members frowned. There was something unusual about the transmission. It carried an energy signature they had not seen before. It was not hostile, yet it hummed with a quiet, organized power. Before anyone could respond further, multiple alarms blared through the station. Orbital defenses around Earth were failing. Automated fleets sent to monitor the planet stopped transmitting. Reconnaissance drones sent to observe human activity went dark one by one. Panic rose in the chamber. The Council scrambled to understand what was happening. The species that had once mocked Earth now watched in growing fear as reports flooded in from sensors scattered across the galaxy. Ships that had been sent to Earth for routine inspections reported strange phenomena. Gravity fields fluctuated unexpectedly, making navigation difficult. Atmospheric readings showed sudden bursts of energy, as if the planet itself had awakened. Small asteroid fragments in the solar system moved in coordinated patterns, redirecting themselves as if guided by an unseen hand. The Council's ambassadors tried to issue orders, but their fleets faltered. Communication networks became unreliable. Every move they made was anticipated and countered with precision. Humans, the species they had dismissed, were not just surviving, they were organizing with uncanny efficiency. In a quiet control room on Earth, Captain Alara Vance observed the incoming Council fleets on her holographic display. Her crew worked calmly, coordinating dozens of human ships, all small, nimble, and seemingly fragile. They were far from the massive warships of the Council, yet every human vessel moved with precision, using advanced AI algorithms to predict and respond to every threat. Ilara's voice was steady as she spoke into the comm system. "All units maintain formation. Do not engage unless necessary. Focus on defensive maneuvers. We are protecting ourselves, not starting a war." The humans' tactics were unlike anything the Council had seen. They did not attack directly. Instead, they manipulated the environment, altering gravitational fields, using planetary energy to create shields, and sending automated drones to confuse and disrupt alien fleets. Council members stared in disbelief as their most advanced ships faltered under strategies that defied conventional logic. Inside the chamber, debate turned to panic. Some members called for immediate retaliation, arguing that Earth must be destroyed before it could become a real threat. Others warned caution, sensing that these humans were capable of far more than anyone realized. A counselor from a warlike species banged a clawed hand on the desk. "Enough," it shouted. "This is a minor planet. Send the fleets and crush them before they do something we cannot reverse." But the warnings came too late. Earth's fleet appeared on the outskirts of the Council's station. Small, fast, and perfectly coordinated, the human ships formed a ring of defense. At the center of the formation, a single human captain stood out, visible through the Council's communication system. Her expression was calm but firm, "We are defending ourselves," she said. "Any attack on Earth will be met with total response. We do not threaten you, but we will not allow aggression." A stunned silence filled the chamber. No species had ever spoken with such confidence, such authority, and such precision. The message was simple, but the implications were enormous. Humans were no longer weak, no longer primitive, no longer a species to be dismissed. Panic spread among the council members. Ships that had been sent to Earth were returning damaged, some destroyed entirely by mysterious human defenses. The council scrambled to understand what was happening, sending experts and diplomats, but every attempt to approach Earth was met with organized resistance. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Captain Alara and her crew continued their work. Scientists monitored planetary energy flows. Engineers adjusted ship systems, and soldiers trained their focus on defense. Every human knew their role, moving as a single organism rather than separate individuals. "This is not a battle," Alara said to her crew. "It is survival. Every species in the galaxy has underestimated us. Today we proved that wrong." As the human fleet adjusted its position, an asteroid belt near Earth shifted almost imperceptibly. Large fragments moved to create natural barriers, while smaller ones swirled around alien ships, forcing them into confusion. Human drones, small and almost invisible, hacked into alien navigation systems, causing more chaos. Inside the council chamber, fear grew into chaos. Representatives shouted over one another, blaming mistakes, arguing over strategy, and pointing fingers. No one could predict what humans would do next. The once proud assembly of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations was now divided. Uncertain and afraid, an elder counselor, one who had seen centuries of interstellar politics, spoke quietly to a younger colleague. "We have never seen a species like this," he said. "They do not act as we expect. They adapt, coordinate, and survive where no one should. We may have underestimated humanity, and that may be our greatest mistake." Outside, the human fleet continued its silent advance. Each maneuver, each defensive strategy was calculated to ensure minimal risk while maximizing control. Humans were not reckless, they were precise, intelligent, and united. Their sudden wrath was not born of anger alone, but of necessity and survival. Hours passed. Council fleets began to retreat in disarray. Their weapons malfunctioned under unexpected interference. Their ships trapped in gravitational anomalies. Their pilots unnerved by strange patterns of movement. Humanity was not just holding its ground, it was rewriting the rules of engagement. By nightfall on Earth, the planet glowed faintly with energy surges visible from orbit. Humans returned to their stations, monitoring every council move, ready to respond but never seeking unnecessary conflict. Captain Alara watched the displays silently, her calm demeanor hiding the pride she felt for her crew. At Orbitus Prime, the council finally gathered to assess the situation. Fear and disbelief dominated the discussion. The message was clear. Earth was no longer a backwater planet. Humans had demonstrated power, intelligence, and coordination far beyond any prediction. The council realized they had misjudged the species entirely. A final, uneasy vote was taken. Some members argued for diplomacy, seeking to understand the humans rather than destroy them. Others, driven by fear, advocated for caution and retreat. The chamber was divided, the balance of power shaken. In the quiet that followed, the human captain's words echoed across the galaxy. "We are defending ourselves. Any attack on Earth will be met with total response." Those words, simple and unyielding, had stunned the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. And so, the stage was set. The galaxy had witnessed the sudden wrath of Earth, and the council realized one undeniable truth. Humanity could no longer be ignored, underestimated, or dismissed. The world they had mocked for centuries had awakened, and the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The council chamber on Orbitus Prime was tense like never before. Representatives shifted nervously in their seats, their usual arrogance replaced by uncertainty and fear. Earth's display of power had shattered centuries of complacency. Ships sent to intimidate humans had returned crippled, some destroyed entirely, leaving council members humiliated and anxious. The discussion that once echoed with authority now hummed with worry. "Earth is not just a minor species," said a tall, silver-skinned envoy. Its voice was sharp but trembling slightly. "They are organized, coordinated, and capable of controlling forces we cannot even predict." We cannot attack them. Not now. A gelatinous delegate whose body shimmered with faint pulses of color bubbled in frustration. We cannot wait. If we hesitate, they will grow stronger. They have already stunned our fleets. We must act now or lose the galaxy's balance forever. An elder counselor, small and frail compared to the others, raised a hand. Patience, he said. They have only defended themselves. They have not attacked any world outside their system. Their wrath is not reckless, it is measured. Perhaps we should listen before we act. The debate raged, but no consensus emerged. While the council argued, Earth did not wait. Humanity's leaders had anticipated hesitation. Captain Elara Vance stood on the command deck of Earth's flagship, watching the galaxy's most powerful civilizations struggle to comprehend what they were witnessing. Prepare communications, Elara said. Her voice was calm but firm. Send a request for a direct audience with the council. No threats, only truth. It is time they understand who we are. The message traveled faster than any council fleet could intercept. A day later, human envoys appeared near the outer edge of Orbitus Prime, their ships unarmed but maintaining strict formation. The council convened again, this time with the humans as guests. Anxiety and curiosity filled the chamber. No species had ever dared request a meeting under such circumstances. Elara stepped forward, flanked by her delegation. She spoke with clarity and authority, her voice amplified to reach all members. We have defended ourselves. We have caused no harm beyond what was necessary. Yet you feared us. You underestimated us for centuries. Now you see what we are capable of. We are not here to dominate the galaxy. We are here to ensure our survival and the survival of our people. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Some delegates whispered to each other, their faces pale. Others leaned forward, curiosity replacing fear. A crystalline envoy, usually brash and loud, spoke first. What are you? What power allows you to control fleets, manipulate planetary forces, and anticipate every action? Elara smiled faintly. We are human. That is all. But we have learned, adapted, and worked together. We use every resource available, science, technology, and intelligence to defend what is ours. Our methods may seem strange, even impossible to you, but they are effective because we act as one. We are united in purpose and precise in execution. The room fell silent. Even the most powerful military species had never witnessed coordination on this scale. Humans did not rely on sheer numbers or brute force. They relied on ingenuity, foresight, and unity. Do you threaten us? Asked a being with 4 arms and eyes on stalks, its voice trembling slightly. If humans attack, the council would respond. Elara shook her head. We do not seek conflict. We do not wish to dominate. We seek respect and recognition. If attacked, we will defend ourselves to the fullest. If ignored, we will continue to prepare. That is all. The statement hung in the air like a silent challenge. Some council members shifted uncomfortably. The humans' calm confidence was more frightening than any weapon. Outside, Earth's fleet maintained its perimeter. Sensors recorded the council's attempts to probe human defenses. But every approach was met with subtle but effective countermeasures. Gravity fields were redirected. Communications jammed just enough to confuse. And drones created illusions of human ships where none existed. Each strategy demonstrated intelligence and creativity far beyond what any species had anticipated. Back inside the chamber, debate continued, but the tone had changed. Fear had evolved into respect. Some members admitted quietly that humans might be the most formidable species they had ever encountered. Others still clung to arrogance, insisting that the Council's power could overwhelm Earth if used decisively. Elara addressed the room again. You see now why humanity cannot be dismissed. We are not reckless, but we are not weak. Underestimate us again, and the consequences will be yours, not ours. We do not seek war, but we will not allow aggression to go unanswered. That is the human way. A pause followed. The room was tense, but the words had sunk in. The council members realized that humans had already changed the balance of power without firing a single weapon in anger. One of the younger counselors spoke hesitantly. If humans can do this defensively, what stops them from becoming a true force in the galaxy? How do we ensure peace if such power exists? Elara's eyes were steady. We ensure peace the same way any intelligent species does, with respect, dialogue, and understanding. We are ready for those who seek to harm us. We are also ready to cooperate with those who wish to work together. The choice is yours. In the following days, council members debated more cautiously. Some proposed alliances, recognizing that humans' technology and strategic thinking could benefit the galaxy. Others remained skeptical, fearing a species so unpredictable. Meanwhile, humans quietly improved their planetary defenses and fleet coordination. Scientists on Earth monitored energy fluctuations in their star, engineers enhanced AI systems, and strategists refined plans for both defense and diplomacy. Each human understood the stakes. They were no longer a minor planet. The galaxy watched, and every move mattered. Then, an unexpected event occurred. A rogue council fleet, ignoring warnings, approached Earth's solar system, seeking to test human defenses. The fleet was large, heavily armed, and confident in its superiority. Ilara's fleet moved to intercept, but instead of attacking, she issued precise, coordinated commands. Drones created illusions of ships in multiple locations, confusing enemy sensors. Gravity fields were subtly manipulated, causing the fleet's formation to falter. Environmental controls on Earth were used strategically. Magnetic storms disrupted navigation, energy pulses disabled weapons, and even asteroid belts were redirected to create natural barriers. The rogue fleet's commander was stunned. Every maneuver the humans made seemed anticipated, every trap perfectly set. Their confidence faltered, and the fleet began to retreat under mounting pressure. Not a single human ship was lost. News of the event spread quickly. Council members watched in disbelief as humans defended themselves without any aggressive intent, using only intelligence, strategy, and ingenuity. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations were forced to accept a new reality. Earth was not a planet to conquer, and humanity was not a species to ignore. Back in Orbitus Prime, the Council held an emergency session. Debate shifted from aggression to negotiation. Representatives who had once laughed at Earth now sought audience with human leaders, hoping to understand their methods, their power, and their intentions. Ilara addressed the Council one last time. "You have seen what humans can do. We do not seek domination, but we will defend ourselves. If you wish to work with us, we welcome it. If you seek to harm us, know this. Humanity is no longer a backwater species. We are united, prepared, and vigilant. The galaxy must learn to respect that." The chamber fell silent. The words were simple, but their meaning was undeniable. Humans had not only survived, they had changed the rules. The Council realized that the galaxy's balance of power had shifted, not through conquest, but through intelligence, strategy, and the unexpected wrath of a species long underestimated. In the following weeks, cautious diplomacy began. Some council members proposed alliances, seeking the guidance and insight of humans in technology, defense, and strategy. Others withdrew, wary of provoking a species whose methods were so unpredictable. On Earth, life continued in its quiet, determined way. Humans worked, learned, and prepared, ever aware of the galaxy watching them. Children played under the sun, scientists studied the stars, and soldiers trained for the defense of their planet. But the world had changed. Humanity had earned its place in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through courage, unity, and ingenuity. Captain Ilara Vance looked up at the stars from the command deck of her flagship. She knew that the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. They had shown that a single species, united in purpose and creative in strategy, could stand against the mightiest civilizations and emerge unscathed. The humans' sudden wrath had stunned the Council, but more than that, it had earned respect, reshaped diplomacy, and altered the course of galactic history. For the first time in centuries, humans were no longer observers. They were participants, powerful, intelligent, and unpredictable. And in the silence of space, Earth glowed faintly, a small but mighty beacon. The galaxy had learned a lesson that would not be forgotten. Humans were a force unlike any other, and their place among the stars was